Good evening and aloha, everyone. It's a thrill to be with you tonight, albeit virtually. I was altogether gobsmacked when I received the call that I'd been selected for this award, and I'm both humbled and grateful to have received it. While it was a long grind to get here, I've enjoyed every minute of the journey. In the course of my work, I've traveled to 21 states plus Australia and flown almost 1.7 million miles. I've seen places and met people that would never have been possible otherwise. I'd only been in Hawaii a short time when I caught a UH football game on television with Jim Leahy and Rick Blangiardi. The game was in Fort Collins, and as I watched, I thought, imagine getting to do that for a living. I shared a house at the time with a woman who was the president of the Downtown Exchange Club, and she arranged to put me on the dais with Rick Blangiardi at their luncheon, where Rick Blangiardi, then the president of KHNL, was the guest speaker. The speech went over well, and while he'd been pretty much to himself before the speech, after it he was ebullient. And he said, "What do you want to do what are you doing with your life?" And I told him I wanted to do what he and Jim were doing, at least on the football games. And he said, "Do you think it's a big deal to meet Jim Leahy?" I said, "Yup, I think it would be a huge deal." He told me, "We'll have lunch." He gave me his card, but with the caveat that it was a really busy time for him. So he said 7 words I'm sure he came to regret. "Don't be afraid to be a pest." Well, I called every Tuesday and every Friday for 7 weeks till I got through. And I know, had he not said that, I would have said, "He's blowing me off, that's that." But he was as good as his word. And we went out to lunch, and everything kind of took off from there. I became the sideline reporter for UH football, and then 2 weeks into the season, ESPN called for KHNL to do the Air Force game with Jim and Rick on the call. And they asked me, "Do you want to do the sidelines? I mean, you've only been here 2 weeks. We've only done 1 game." And I said, "Yes, in for a penny, in for a pound." The substance wasn't bad, but I had trouble keeping my feet still. I had a buddy who was bartending that night on Long Island, and when he looked up at the TV 2 a.m., there I was talking at him, and he dropped the whole tray of glasses. There's some luck involved. Rick was right. I was a persistent cuss, but it led to everything that came later. And so a huge debt to Rick and Jim for giving that persistent young guy from Long Island a chance to become a Hawaii sportscaster. As in most things, hard work, persistence, and timing often lead to good outcomes, and some luck never hurts. Nobody does this for a living, for as long as I have, without having a ton of help and support, and I've had more than my share. First, my family. Call them the Fabulous Five. My wife, Jo, sons Max and Finn, and Don and Marion Murphy. They've all been through the wars with me, and especially in this latest battle. I wouldn't be here without you guys, and I love you all very much. My UH family, with Riley Wallace and Les Murakami, Stan Sheriff, Yu Yoshida, Bob Nash, John McNamara, Dave Matlin, Lois Mannon, Bob Wagner, Nick Rolovich, June Jones, Mike Kavanaugh, Tom Sadler, Jim Donovan, and Dominic Drury. Also, John Montgomery, Jamie Dixon, Jackson Wheeler, Adam Jacobson, Chris Gerlofson, Derek Inuuchi, and Neil Iwamoto. Also, Charlie Wade, Laura Beeman, and all of the assistant coaches that I've worked with over the years. Many have moved on, but they'll be with me forever. And then there's my work family at IO and ESPN Honolulu. It's a great privilege to work with Dwayne Kurisu, Susan Icor, and the incredible team that they've assembled, including Ken Miyasato, Chris Hart, Matapana, Gary Dickman, Tiff Wells, Lynn Hiroshima, Kathy Kakagawa, Mike Kelly, and Sheldon Nagata. And all of the people with whom I shared the broadcast booth over the years. Don Robbs, Jim Leahy, Larry Goes, Sean Cheng, Rich Miano, Robert K. Cowler, Scott Robbs, Jeff Portnoy, Artie Wilson, and the Veneri brothers, John and Mark. And of course, Steve Insai, Kanoa Leahy, Dave Reardon, Ferd Lewis, Curtis Murayama, and Rob DeMello. All good people and fun to be around, and all really good at their jobs. I'd like to say thank you to the Hilton Tapatio Cliffs for allowing us to use their space today. I can't wait to come home, and I'm told that barring setbacks could be as early as June. I'm really looking forward to being back to work and to see all of you, and as soon as I am permitted, I'll be on that plane. Mahalo, everyone. Have a great evening, and aloha.